If you saw the trailer for Guilty Gear 2020 and you thought to yourself, man, I really want to learn Guilty Gear and give it a shot, I'll tell you right now, Guilty Gear is fucking tight. The music's fantastic. The character designs are incredibly cool. The game has a humongous amount of depth to it. There's so much to learn and so much to be fascinated by. And I'll tell you right away, it's not going to be easy to sit down and learn the highest level of gameplay for Guilty Gear and understand it and get involved with it. But to pick it up at a basic level, learn real simply how Guilty Gear works and hit buttons and have fun. That's the point. And you'll learn that extremely quickly. It's like any fighting game. You'll jump into it. You'll start to play it. You'll be like, this character's fucking sick. They have cool ass moves. You learn the very basic. You do like your combo trials. You're like, this is tight. How does Guilty Gear work? You start to play it. You're having some fun. You play somebody. They beat you up. You're like, that guy is fucking good. He's doing some crazy shit. I lost to him and he was playing Sin. How do I fight Sin? You type into YouTube, whatever character you're playing, versus Sin, and you watch a high level match and you're like, this game's fucking incredible. It looks so fast. That guy is playing the same character as me, but he's moving 6 times faster than me. I have no idea how he's doing that. This game's sick. So then you start to watch it, and then you learn, and then you're becoming more and more like familiar with how Guilty Gear works, and you delve into the learning cycle. You're in the learning cycle of the game. You're digging your heels in, and you're trying to learn it. When I learned Eunice on my stream, the very first thing that happened is I played somebody who was only a Eunice player. That's their main game. When we played a set, and the score was like 43-1 or something like that. It was the first human being I played in the game ever, and I got destroyed. And afterwards, I thought to myself, well, I learned a lot about the game, and I really now understand what to do. The next time we played, I got like 13 games, and it was like 50-13 or something like that. And I was like, I've learned so much more about the game. That right there is a huge amount of improvement that you can feel and see as a player. And one thing that people forget, this is something that when people are learning, they struggle with so much. It happens in all aspects of life when you're trying to learn. You have to reward yourself for little victories. When you anti-air someone, you've been like, you know what, I haven't anti-aired this guy in fucking 5 games. If you anti-air someone and you drop the combo after, you shouldn't be fucking hoo-hawing and sad and shit. You should be like, fuck yeah, I anti-aired this bitch. Fuck you, I anti-aired this shit out of you. Because your goal wasn't to anti-air him and hit this sick combo. Your goal was just to anti-air. It's simple. It's a little victory. Take that little victory and be like, yes. Now, the next time he jumps, I'm going to anti-air again. I'm going to try my combo. And you try your combo, you fuck it up. Oh, whatever. I'll get it next time. At least I'm anti-airing. You got to take the victory. Take the victory. Then the next time you anti-air him, you're like, hell yes, I anti-aired him and I did a combo. It wasn't the right combo. I did a super inoptimal combo. But it doesn't matter because I fucking anti-aired him. You should be critical of yourself and you should say, you know what? I'm missing this. I'm missing that. I'm making mistakes here. There's stuff that I'm, not doing right. But you also have to just be like, fuck yeah. I blocked that shit. I don't know how to punish it. I know it's punishable, but I blocked it. Fuck yeah. You have to take little victories. Because if you don't do that, you will feel the weight of your mistakes so heavily that you don't stop and be like, you know what? I may have lost the last 2 or 3 matches or whatever, but in those matches, I anti-aired better. I blocked this move that I kept getting hit by for some reason. I now know that it's punishable. I don't know the right punish, but I know that I can look up a punish later. And the next time he does that shit, I'm gonna fuck him up. That's how it's supposed to be when you're learning. You're not supposed to just be like, oh man, I lost. You gotta be like, man, I lost, but I anti-aired the shit out of you, you stupid bitch. Jump at me again. I bet you I'll anti-air. I bet you I won't hit the combo, but I'll fucking anti-air you, bitch. You have to focus on what you want to improve because eventually you'll get it. It'll all come back around. Very good advice that I will ignore and hate myself. Don't do it. Don't do that. Just learn and have fun. Get into Guilty Gear. Trust me, when I got into Guilty Gear, I had no idea what I was doing. You should watch. The very first match I ever played of Guilty Gear, I played on the recipe when I was playing with Steve. Steve taught me how to play, and this guy beat me 6 times. And at the very end of the episode, I just barely won. I with the luckiest shit in the world. It wasn't even good. And I was like, yeah, we improved. We did it. We fucking won. Woo. And looking back now, I could play that guy and I can play me at the same time, and I would fuck both of them up. One-handed each. They are both trash. But that was a learning moment that was so important. It was so important for me to sit down and try the game and learn a bunch of shit and have fun with it. And then the next time I played, I was like, all right, that guy was kicking the shit out of me. I got one lucky game, but this is what he was fucking me up with. What do I need to do here? And I just learned. Just give it a shot. Fighting games are fun. Games are supposed to be fun. You're going to get beat up. It's how it works. Yeah, I'm not some superhuman that just learns games extremely quickly because of whatever. I learn games fast because I know how to learn, and I know how to be bad at something, you know, and I'm learning how to just be better at it. You guys have seen it on my streams a million times. When I learn a new game, I'm horrible, but if you give me a few days, I'll be pretty good. Why? Because I focus on it, and I know how to learn, and I'm like, all right, let's get in there. You'll always be horrible at whatever you try in the beginning. Is there anything harder than playing Mishimas in fighting games? Yes, realizing that you shouldn't play a Mishima and you should instead play a different character. For some reason, that is the hardest thing about Tekken 7, is realizing that you're not actually a Mishima player and you don't have the execution chops to play a Mishima. That's the hardest thing in Tekken 7, I think, is realizing that just because you can electric 1 in every 10 times does not mean you're a Mishima player. That's life, dude. Sometimes you gotta realize. Any advice for feeling like you've hit an execution plateau? Just keep at the lab or step away. My advice is this. You should try different techniques, and you should try breaking down the parts of the execution that give you trouble. So you have a huge combo here, and there's just some part of it that gives you trouble. You gotta break it down piece by piece. What's the exact motion? Hit the motion. Do it in slow motion. Don't even do it in the full speed. If the input is like half circle back forward, and you're like, I can't do this shit, I wanna cancel. Half circle back forward, half circle back. Just keep doing it over and over until you're like speeding up and you have the execution and you're like, okay, I can do the input now. It's just now canceling it off a button or whatever it is. Whatever the execution hurdle that you have is, slow it down, break it down, think about it, come back to it. And the thing is, once you have it, you have it. It's muscle memory. Your hands know how to do it. Keep practicing at it. I was a noob. I didn't know how to do any of these things. But eventually, with drilling and practice and everything, you'll figure it out. It's like anything. You just got to give yourself some time to sit down, give that shit a shot, and if it doesn't work, break it down nice and slow and practice it piece by piece by piece. The first time you play an instrument or piano, you're like, how the fuck do these chords work? I got to use 3 fingers to hit this shit? And then eventually, you're just like, oh yeah. You just see it. You can read it on the page and be like, oh yeah, I can just play this as I'm doing it. It's no problem. Learning is rough if you don't know how to learn. You have to just sit down and be like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but this is fun and I want to give it a shot. And give yourself little bits of improvements at a time. If you can change your mindset from, wow, that move's fucking stupid, to, how the fuck do I beat that move? And you sit and think about it. It's as great as receiving the 7 smackaroos from Dean Earwick. Thanks very much. That's a good point. If you think you've hit the point where you've got it, you've probably got some distance to go before you've actually got it. But you'll get there. Have little victories and be happy when you hit them. Because otherwise, like, you know, if you don't have these little victories, you'll just be like, man, all this stuff is so hard. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get better at commentary or get better at Eunice or Dragon Ball or Guilty Gear or playing an instrument or cooking or whatever you're interested in. You literally just start, and no matter what, you're not going to be good. Whatever your base skill is in the context of everybody who's ever done it, you're not going to be that good in the beginning. Just give it some time. Just focus on improving and you'll be all right.